Okay, we put, ooh, this smells good. Oh my god, that goes down like, okay. Oh my god, I'm drunk. Well, hello, welcome to my movie commentary channel. If you don't know me, my name is Kelly. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm also a licensed medical esthetician and laser technician, so that is what I do during the day, but I really want to get into YouTubing and do movie commentaries. My goal in life is to also go to grad school and get my license in marriage and family counseling. So what I'm going to be doing on this channel is watching movies. I'm going to be starting with the Disney movies, so I'm going to be seeing what we can learn from them as adults, but also what we can teach our kids. There's a lesson to be learned, how to handle situations, things like that. As you can tell by my yellow nails, blue top, and red earrings, I'm going to be starting with the queen of primary colors herself, Snow White, because she is the first animated Disney film that was made by Walt Disney. These Disney videos I hope to extend into something more. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, and since I do have a full-time day job, I'm hoping to make at least a movie commentary video once a month, because I think that's all I can handle right now. Also, I have another channel where I do my makeup, get ready, things like that. So with these Disney movies, I also aspire to rank them. I want to do it March Madness style, where I take 2 videos, kind of compare them, see which one is best, but also rank them on a scale of 1 to 70, because I plan on doing 70 Disney videos. But on the ranking on a scale of 1 through 70, 70 is going to be the best, 1 is going to be the worst. We'll be giving the videos points based on how I feel about the video. If you disagree, make sure to leave it in the comments below. But the point system is based off of, will I ever buy a Funko Pop of this? Will I ever do a puzzle of this movie? Will I ever do a diamond painting of this movie? Will I ever buy ears for this movie? Things like that. I'm really excited for the March Madness ranking section because I'm curious in myself on how I would rank these videos. But to make this a little bit more fun and lighthearted, I thought I should add some wine into the mix. So this wine bottle is actually from my favorite winery here in Dallas. This is the Yellow Rose, and the reason why I chose this one for the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs movie commentary is because there's a little apple. So I have it chilled. We'll open this in a second. But a couple facts about the movies. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was made in 1937. It's only an hour and 23 minutes, which is really nice for kids. And this was Disney's first animated feature film, which is based off of the 1812 German fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. In 1983, the U.S. Library of Congress deemed the film culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. Disney's take on the fairy tale has had a significant cultural effect, resulting in popular theme park attractions. Okay, so starting off, the film already has a very nostalgic feel for me. Man, I didn't know this movie specifically gave such a nostalgic feel. I always thought Snow White was kind of an annoying character. I did not like her singing voice at all. I thought a lot of the song scenes and dancing scenes, especially with the Seven Dwarves, were very boring and kind of slow. Okay, so I love the storybook. I love it. I love the gold. I love the white. I love how it opens. I love the detail. I love how it looks like you can actually reach out and touch it and grab it. Also, notice the peacock. The peacock also has a lot of symbolism throughout the movie too. Like the evil queen's chair has a peacock in it. And then this castle. Don't even get me started on this castle. Compared to other castles in other Disney movies, it does feel very bland. I love it when the queen is walking up to the mirrors and you see all 12 zodiac signs surrounding the mirrors. This is something as a child that I probably didn't know or didn't recognize because I wasn't into astrology. Okay, so I want to pause a minute also on the zodiac surrounding the mirror. This is also an allude to her being the Wicked Witch. The details in this movie is just extraordinary. But I just looked up on Wikipedia, which probably isn't very accurate, but on Wikipedia it does say that throughout most of history, astrology was considered a scholarly tradition. It was accepted in political and academic contexts and was connected with other studies such as astrology, alchemy, meteorology, and medicine, which we see all 4 of those whenever you go to the Evil Queen's lair whenever she's becoming the witch. I think you see all 4 of those books on her bookshelf. I also love that this film has a lot of conspiracy theories associated with it. I also love conspiracy theories, and one of the probably more common conspiracy theories is when the Evil Queen asks, "Who is the fairest one of all?" The conspiracy theory surrounding that is she says magic mirror on the wall, not mirror mirror on the wall. Yet all of us know mirror mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all. But she doesn't. She said magic mirror on the wall. So now the prince is being introduced into the film. There's also a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding him, but I also thought it was very interesting how this prince was never given a name. He's just known as Prince. Now, doing a quick Google research that was not very in-depth, it said that his name is actually Prince Ferdinand, but that's never proven. This movie tugs at my heartstrings so much, which I didn't think was possible, since whenever I was little, Snow White, the character, annoyed me, and I didn't have a relation to this film whenever I was younger. I didn't have a relation to the princess. I thought Snow White's voice was annoying, but now watching the movie and getting all that nostalgia back in the opening credits of the book, I'm like, oof, she's gonna rank pretty high. It's gonna be hard to compete with her. Also, panning over to the Evil Queen, one thing that I've noticed in Disney films is that Disney correlates the icky lime green color with being evil, and as it zooms into the Evil Queen, you can see that she has lime green eyes. Now we're to the Queen's throne, and the peacock is on her throne, the same peacock that was in the opening credits on the storybook. Now, according to Google, the peacocks are symbolic of regrowth and rejuvenation, royalty, respect, honor, and integrity. They are also a symbol of beauty, love, and passion. So the peacock does correlate a lot with the queen, with rejuvenation. She wants to stay young and beautiful forever, as well as royalty, beauty, and honor. In the scene, she is talking to the huntsman, and he has to prove his loyalty to her by bringing back Snow White's heart.
Yes, Your Majesty.
This next scene in Snow White is probably the most horrifying scene in a Disney film. Like, a little kid is probably watching this, and this is crazy scary, and this is exactly how the ride was from my memory. I can't even like watch it right now. This probably was why I didn't like this movie as a little kid, because this is terrifying. This is horrifying, and it goes on longer than it needs to. And last year, a mama bunny had baby bunnies in my backyard, and I did turn into Snow White, and it was the best moment of my life. But I do like this scene if you are a parent watching this movie with your child. Snow White just asked the question, "What do you do when things go wrong?" So this can be a very good learning opportunity with your kids in the future. When your child is having problems, you can be like, hey, remember when Snow White had this terrifying moment and then everything was okay because all of her forest creature friends were around her again. Let's think about that. Like, what are you gonna do when things are going wrong? I believe that it's healthy to go through emotions, but it's not okay to continuously play the victim narrative. Or we can take like 3 deep breaths. We felt that emotion. Okay, now let's pick ourselves up and move on. Side note, this cottage is actually top tier architectural design. Like, I want my future house to be inspired by the dwarf's cottage. Like the river, the small coziness of it all. Like, even Snow White says,
just like a doll's house.
Like, this is perfect. So this scene has always been very strange to me. Snow White herself as a character has always been very strange to me. When Snow White knocks on the door, says, "Hello, is anybody home?" Nobody answers, so nobody is home, and she still continues to invite herself in. Like, girl, I know you're portraying a 14-year-old, but now introduced to the song Whistle While You Work.
Just whistle while you work.
And I feel like this is, it's not a banger if I'm being honest, but this is a great song in the film for parents to introduce to their children whenever they're trying to teach them chores and tidiness and cleanliness. And it can be a good parenting moment, and it could be a good parent and child moment to clean together. And the child might always correlate cleaning in the future with the memory of their parent and cleaning while listening to this song and singing along to it. I think it's a great parenting moment for the film. I think it's hilarious that the dwarves are dressed like garden gnomes, because in Germany it's very traditional to have a garden gnome in front of your house. Grumpy, in my opinion, is the most logical out of the group. I think he's given a bad rep because his name is Grumpy, but I think he's only grumpy because he's been dealing with ignorance with the other members in the group. Aside from Dopey, Dopey is a heaven sent. They also use the phrase witch's brew, which I think is a little foreshadowing, if you know what I mean. And in this scene, Grumpy makes another foreshadowing statement. He says that the evil queen is an old witch who knows everything because she is full of black magic that can even make herself invisible. Which she does kind of make herself invisible because she turns into the old witch. Which he says in the statement, she's an old witch. Now, personally, this scene in the movie is a little slow for me, but again, it does tie into this movie being a very good film for parents to show their kids, because along with the chore scene, there's a hand washing scene where Snow White forces them to wash up for supper, wash their hands.
Who now is the fairest one of all?
In my opinion, the mirror needs to learn how to keep a secret, because he just told the queen that Snow White is alive and where she was hiding. Like, the mirror is literally setting Snow White up to be killed. Oh my god, this is what I love. This is what I love. All the books about witchcraft, the black magic, the alchemy, the astrology. The evil queen is me. I am the evil queen. I feel like, you know how everyone has an alter ego when they drink? Well, I feel like my alter ego is Snooki. Not to be confused with Dren. Dren and Snooki are 2 completely different creatures. Also, comment down below if you think I should do a movie commentary to the Jersey Shore. I've never actually seen Jersey Shore. I have seen and am currently watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation. That's completely different than Jersey Shore. I don't know the drama that happened way back in the 2010s. But the drama that's going on now, and I feel like I'm the only one that watches Jersey Shore. Like, I have to talk about this with somebody. Also, one thing that I've always been curious about is, why did the evil queen go after Snow White so hard? Why didn't she just go after the huntsman? Because he's the one that betrayed her. Also notice that the drink that the evil queen drinks to turn herself into a witch is green. Green in Disney movies are represented as evil. Okay, aside from Hi Ho that is sung by the Dwarves, this is probably the most iconic Snow White song. I honestly thought this was sung by Cinderella, but Snow White gets a many points by her singing Someday My Prince Will Come, because this is an iconic Disney song that I love and adore with my entire heart. I feel like the evil queen is very underrated, or is she overrated? Let me know down in the comments below. But she is very intelligent. She double checks and makes sure that there's not a cure for the poisoned apple, and there is, and it's true love's first kiss. However, how likely is it that somebody will kiss a corpse? You know what I mean? Okay, I think Disney touches on foreshadowing a little much in this scene, because every single dwarf that she's kissing goodbye is warning her to be careful of the evil queen. She's a sly one. Mr. Grinch. I'm drunk. We also see another side to Grumpy in this scene, because he cleans off his forehead, he takes off his hat, he warns her to be safe. So we see that he actually does care about Snow White, and we also see Snow White being fond of Grumpy too, because she's about to make a pie for Grumpy. She recognizes that he does have a heart for her too, and they're just so cute together. Not in like a romantic way, but like their friendship has blossomed in this short amount of time. It's only a 1 hour and 23-minute long movie, and you can see from where their friendship started to where it is now, Snow White. You can tell she's just always seen the good in people. I will never own a house where there's a window above the sink ever in my life. So Snow White is bringing the old witch inside of her home, well, the dwarf's home. But this is the one thing about having a good heart that may have some negative consequences to it, because she has a good heart to somebody that doesn't deserve it. So again, this is lesson number 3 that we can all learn as human beings, and parents can teach their kids to, like, hey, be a good person, but always, I don't want to say put yourself first, but you know when the plane is going down and flight attendants say put your mask on first before helping others? Kind of the same situation. And I hate that the evil queen states that the apple is a witching apple, because Snow White is young. 1, she's 14 years old, but 2, in the beginning of the movie when she was wishing on the wishing well for her to meet her Prince Charming, and she meets the prince, and now she's given this wishing apple. She's like, man, my odds are pretty good. Like, if you were to take me to go gambling right now, so far we're 1 for 1. So let's find out if we're 2 for 2. Okay, so another reason why this movie is growing on me is because there is another conspiracy theory involved. There's a conspiracy theory out there that the evil queen did not die at the end of the film, that she survives and she becomes Mother Gothel in Tangled, which Tangled is one of my favorite movies. I have green eyes and blonde hair, so obviously I'm the epitome of Rapunzel. Okay, so a couple things at the end of the movie. I noticed that Snow White, leave in the comments below if I'm wrong, but it looks like Snow White only kissed 6 out of the 7 dwarves. It looks like to me she left out either Sneezy or Sleepy. Now, being the conspiracy theorist that I am, there's also another conspiracy theory that the prince is not the prince. He's actually the kiss of death. Okay, a couple of things about the movie that I did not enjoy is how fast the ending was. Like, this was the quickest and the most quiet ending of the movie. Like, we spent more time watching the dwarves wash their hands than we did saying goodbye to Snow White, who is the main character, who is essentially getting ridden off on a white horse to go to heaven. Another question. When the dwarves were paying their respects to Snow White at the end of the movie, why didn't they question the prince? Why didn't they say, like, hey, sir, like, we're paying respects to our friend right now. Why are you interrupting our funeral? Like, who are you, first of all? Also, why did the prince know to kiss Snow White if he's not the kiss of death? How did he know to kiss Snow White to break the spell? What? And she just rides off with the prince into the sunset as if the dwarves haven't been taking care of her for the past 3 seasons. Okay, so let's get into the rankings. A couple of things. IMDb ranked this movie 7.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes ranked this a 98%, and 83% of people like this movie. So I'm assuming my point scale is going to be very similar to theirs. There's about 23 questions to the movies, and I will be ranking them on a couple of different scales. Some of the questions have more than one question associated with them, so on average it's about, I would say, 35. I'm not counting, but it's about 35 questions per movie, and each question is about a 2-point scale. Would I watch this movie again? Yeah. This movie has grown on me a lot since being a kid, especially if I ever have kids. There's about 3 different lessons in this movie that I think are very important as somebody who's aspiring to be a therapist and somebody who might want to be a parent in the future. There's at least 3 lessons that we can learn from this movie. Okay, have I seen this movie before? Yes, I have seen this movie before whenever I was little. I did not like this movie as much whenever I was a child, but I'm happy to say that it has grown on me. This is a princess movie, and luckily for this movie, it is the first Disney princess movie. Okay, is there an iconic catchy song? Now, I would say that Hi Ho and Someday My Prince Will Come are the 2 iconic catchy songs in this movie. Okay, 2 points if there's a meaningful message for children, fun for adults, or is it just for kids? For me personally, as a child, I did not enjoy this movie at all, but as an adult, I did enjoy this movie. I think because the evil queen and I correlate so much, and whenever I was a child Kelly and Snow White didn't correlate the best, but the evil queen was interested in witchcraft and zodiacs and astrology, and I think that is just so badass. Like, I can't wait until I go to Disney World next so I can meet the evil queen. I've never been to Disney World around Halloween time, so maybe this Halloween I'll go to Disney. I'm already planning it. I'm planning it. I don't care. 2 points if this film inspired other films. And yeah, it did. One of the films that I want to commentary next on is going to be Sydney White. You remember that movie with Amanda Bynes as Sydney White? I think that's going to be my live action commentary whenever I start doing the Disney movies as live action films. Is this movie culturally accurate? Because it did have a lot of German stereotype references to it. Let's just give it 1 point because I don't want the actual Germans coming for me. Man, I really want to go to Walt Disney World right now. And I want to drink around the world and go to Germany. Germany's in Epcot, right? Are there conspiracy theories surrounding this film? Yes. Okay, so there was the Mandela effect in the beginning, Mirror Mirror on the Wall, which is actually Magic Mirror on the Wall, Mother Gothel being the old witch, and the kiss of death at the end. Is that all? Is it relatable to me personally? Would I buy a Funko Pop of any of the characters? Now, I have a Funko Pop miniature version of all the characters, so all 7 dwarfs, so that's 7 points. Snow White, the prince, the evil queen, and the old witch. And I have at least 3 Funko... Oh my god, my camera's about to die. And I have at least 3 Funko Pops, real versions, because my first golden retriever was named Dopey. Would I buy a puzzle for this movie? Yes. Yes, I have done a puzzle of this movie. Thank you. Would I buy a Disney pin for this movie? Yes, one of my Funko Pops actually came with a pin of Snow White, so I do own a pin. Okay, would any of the Disney characters in this film inspire a future Halloween costume for me? I mean, yellow nails, blue top, red earrings. Would I purchase this movie? Would I own this movie on VHS, DVD, or other, like Apple TV? Yes, sadly I do own this movie on Apple TV. I do need to double check if I own this movie on VHS and DVD. If I do, I'll leave it somewhere over here. Is there a collaboration for this movie? Meaning, did Revolution Makeup do a collaboration with this film? I'm gonna have to double check those. Again, I'll leave it over here. You can see the sun is setting and it's blinding me in my face. Was it easy to create the dinner date based off of this film? I haven't recorded the dinner date yet, but I have written out the dinner date that I would like to do with this film, and it's fondue inspired with a blueberry pie at the end. Is there a ride in Disney based on this movie? There used to be a ride involving this movie, so it only gets 1 point for that. Now, would I buy a Loungefly based off of this movie? I would buy a Loungefly of the Evil Queen, not so much Snow White. Side note, based on the ranking scale, now we have our final point ranking right here, but to me there is 3 unnecessary scenes in the movie: the hand washing scene, the dancing scene, and the fact that Doc is the only dwarf whose name isn't a personality trait. And then we will see how it ranks in my March Madness ranking in the next video. Bye! Also, side note, do you remember in the opening scene the book? And I was like, oh my god, this book is gorgeous. The white, the gold, the detail of the dwarves at the bottom. You guys, I have the book. Okay, so it gets an extra point for that. This is the final scale. I'm just kidding. We're not done yet. There was a wine with apple, so it gets an extra point for that. Okay, now we're officially done. Bye.